What is up, peeps? It's your favorite Bulgarian, back at it again. And today we're gonna do something a bit different. Okay, I'm going to teach you guys a realization that I had just today. Well, actually, I had it a couple of days ago, but I guess the idea or the realization fully formed today, right? And what that is I fear success, right? So let me explain that. We got our handy dandy whiteboard over here so I can explain to you guys what I mean, right? So if you know anything about personal development, you know that there is something that's fear of failure, right? You fear failing, you fear getting rejected, right? You fear things going bad. That's why, let's say you don't take action, right? Because you know that you're going to fail, and you fear failing, so you don't take action at all, right? So that's one end of the spectrum, right? Where you are paralyzed by fear of failure, fear of rejection, all of these fears that do not allow you to take action and start working on yourself or whatever you want to work on, right? So that's one side, right? After getting that handled, after starting to take some action, you start to move up, right? You start to get results, and after a while, you hit a ceiling, right? And that's not a visible ceiling. You're not fully aware of that ceiling when you hit it, right? But what happens is this happens, right? So ultimately you start over here, right? Like let's take finances for example, right? You start over here. Let's say you are making 1K per month, right? 1K GBP per month, right? So you start working up. Maybe you're making 1.2K, you're making 1.4K, right? And over here, let's say you've got like £1,000 in the bank, right? £1,000 in the bank, and you're making 1.4K, right? But after a while, this is your ceiling, right? Your ceiling is, let's say you make 2K per month, and then you have 2K in the bank, right? After you hit the ceiling, this success ceiling, right? What you do is you self-sabotage yourself and you go down, right? What you might do is you might slack off in your work, you might buy some stupid shit that you don't actually need, and then you're always going to rationalize it, right? So let me give you an example. Couple couple of weeks ago, I bought this guitar, right? I bought this guitar, and why I bought the guitar is I was like, oh, man, like I've never like played an instrument, right? I want to learn an instrument. I want to learn how to play the guitar. It's gonna be something amazing. And it's not like I gave like hundreds of pounds for this guitar, right? Like I ended up paying 15, 20 pounds for the actual guitar, and then for the strings, maybe in total I gave like 40 or 50 pounds for the actual whole set for the guitar, right? But that being said, it's minus 50 pounds, right? Minus 50 pounds. After that, another thing that I did is I went and bought some more books, right? So these books, let's say minus 30 pounds, right? And then you buy some other stuff minus 100 pounds. I went out, and I went out a couple of times, so like minus 200, 300 pounds, right? And then it goes down and down and down and down, right? And you always rationalize this. You're like, I've been working hard, so let's take a break, right? I've been working hard, so let's reward myself with something, right? I've been working hard, so let's do XYZ, right? But ultimately, this XYZ doesn't move you up, right? It doesn't move you towards, let's say, 2.5K or 3.5K and maybe like 4K in the bank, right? It moves you down, right? It moves you less money in the bank, you're making less money, you're less motivated, and you're going down, right? Up until you hit a point where you're like, oh fuck, this is too uncomfortable now, right? So you hit your failure barrier, right? Or you get into your comfort zone again, right? Everybody has a comfort zone, right? So your comfort zone might be, the lower threshold of your comfort zone might be you're making 1K, and then you have like almost zero in the bank, right? That is the lowest that you will go, right? And after you hit this, then again you start going up like 1.2K, 1.4K, and up and up and up until you hit this ceiling again, which is 2K per month and 2K in the bank, and then you self-sabotage and go down again. And like this is an example with finances, right? This is one area of your life. Another area might be with gym, right? If you go to the gym, if you eat healthy, another area might be your health, right? Your health and your fitness. So what might happen is you're like, okay, I don't like the way that I look, or I could be improved, right? I need to get in shape. Maybe you want to eat healthier. Maybe you want to like get your shit together, right? Like maybe finally you want to get a six pack or run a marathon or whatever is that you want to do, right? So what you start doing is, let's say you start at 100 kg, which I think is like 15 stone or something like that, and then you're like at 20% body fat, right? And then you start moving up. Let's say you get to 95 kg, you go to 90 kg, you go to 85, and then bam, this is your ceiling of success, right? Ceiling of success is at, let's say, like 80 kg. And let's say you have like 5 more kg left up until you can get to 75, that you're gonna like be super shredded and you're gonna have a six pack and whatever it is, right? But once you get here, which is your ceiling of success, you're like, oh, I'm healthy enough, right? I am good looking enough, right? My body is good enough. So what you do is you start slacking off. You're like, oh man, I'll allow myself a cheat day, right? So you cheat on your diet maybe like once a week. Then you start cheating twice a week, right? And eventually what happens is this 80 kg, it goes up to, let's say, 83. And after that, you let yourself go a bit more. It goes to 87, goes to 90, maybe 95, and eventually maybe you get to 100 again, and you're like, fuck, right? Let's start getting in shape again. And all your fucking life, man, all your life, right, you're oscillating and moving between this, right? Whatever it is, could be finances, could be relationships, could be your level of happiness, could be wealth, could be status, could be popularity, education, whatever it is, right? It goes on and on and on and on. Like in every area of your life, you allow yourself a certain amount of success and a certain amount of failure, right? And if you're not aware of this, what ends up happening is you go up, 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 you hit this, then you go down. Then you go up, 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 you hit this and you go down, right? So all of your life, you're just moving in between these lines and you're never actually making any real progress, right? Your life is just up and down, up and down, up and down. And, you might have these like little like breaks, right? You might have these like little breaks, but ultimately you find a way to go down. And let me know if you're late with this, right? Let me know if you're late with this. And it's not like this doesn't happen in the period of 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, right? What might end up happening is you start here like with whatever it is, and then you're on the up and up and up and up and up and up, and maybe like this is your ceiling of success, and this whole period might take 10 years, right? Like this whole period might take 10 years. There is no time limit to it, right? Might happen like this whole up and down might happen in the time frame of months, like let's say 3 months up and then 3 months down, 3 months up and 3 months down, or it might happen in 10 years, right? That's why you see people who become very successful and then they blow it all. Like why did they blow it all? Like why did they start doing drugs? Why did they start slacking off? Why did they do that? Right? Because they hit their ceiling of success, right? They don't think that they deserve that. Like they don't view themselves as that successful. They fear being that successful. That's uncomfortable to them, right? So how do we fix this? Well, I don't have like the 100% answer for everybody, right? For everybody is gonna be different, but ultimately, how this is fixed is a couple of stages, right? So first, you need some awareness, right? You need some awareness. You need to get an area of your life that you want to improve on. Let's say finances, right? and you want to identify what is your ceiling of success, right? So you need to build awareness around this. Like, what is your ceiling of success? You know, in terms of money, in terms of, you know, how successful you are in your career, in terms of recognition, in terms of everything, right? In finances. First, you need to determine what's your awareness, and then you need to see, and then you need to identify a pattern in your life, right? Second of all, you need to get specific, right? You need to get specific on what that is. Like, write it down, write it down, right? One thing that I do that helps me a lot is I have a notepad like this, and then I write in it all the time, right? I write in it notes, I write in it my thoughts, I write in it everything. So that's really helpful. So awareness, write it down, and then afterwards you want to let it go, right? You want to let this fear go. You want to let this fear of success go, right? Because ultimately, fear as an emotion is okay, right? Like, feeling fear is normal. Everybody feels fear. The problem is not with fear, right? The problem is when you resist feeling the fear, right? The problem is when you resist feeling the fear of success. The problem is when you resist success, right? So you have to let go of this resistance. And how you let it go, man, is like, it's tough shit, right? Tough shit. I don't have all the answers. I'm just realizing this stuff on a deeper level, right? But one person that I can recommend to you guys is Julian himself on YouTube, right? Julian himself on YouTube. This guy is amazing. He's been doing trauma work and releases for the past like 5-6 years, maybe even more, right? And he is one of my mentors. I learned from this guy, right? Like, I use his guided releases, and I use his programs and mentorings to release my trauma and to kind of like identify where I have resistance and where I can let go. And I would recommend him to you guys, right? Because ultimately, I can't help you with that right now, right? Like, I can give you the awareness around what you might want to change in your life, but as of right now, I'm just not the guy who can help you, right? So if you want to get this area of your life handled, if you relate it to what I talk to you right now, Julian himself on YouTube and Julian himself on Instagram as well. This is the guy that you want to go for. He's going to he'll be able to help you out for sure. So that being said, man, how did I even come to this realization, right? Like, how did I come to this realization? Well, I realized a pattern, right? I realized the pattern, and the pattern is this. So what happens is, I want to build up my social media, right? I want to build up my social media, and that is YouTube, that is Instagram, and maybe even Facebook, right? And maybe even TikTok, who knows? Maybe even TikTok, right? But the main ones are YouTube and Instagram, right? I want to build these up. So what happens is, I start posting more stories, I start doing more posts, right? Hashtags, more engagement, right? And then, it's on the up and up, and I build this upward momentum, right? But then there comes a point where I'm like, oh shit, like, the content is there, the engagement is there, the stories are going good, everything's going good, right? And then bam, I hit a ceiling. I hit a ceiling, right? And I'm like, things are going good. I'm posting consistent content, right? I'm getting more followers. What if this actually happens? Like, what if I actually like become successful? What if I actually, like, get 1K followers or 5K or 10K followers? Whoa, like, that's too much responsibility. I'm not sure if I would handle that. I'm not sure, what would happen. Like, I'm not sure. Like, it's uncertainty, right? So this is the comfort zone, right? Over here, this is the comfort zone. And after we break through this, then this is uncertainty, right? Then this is uncertainty. Then this is the unknown, right? This is the unknown. And the unknown is scary, right? The unknown is scary. Like, you don't want to be here. I mean, you want to be here if you want to be successful, right? But ultimately, this is scary, right? So what happens is when you hit your ceiling of success, you rationalize it some way. Like it always makes sense in your mind. Like it always makes perfect sense. So how did I rationalize it this time? I'm like, I want to focus more on my work, right? I want to focus more on my sales job. I want to focus more on my work. Like I can't be doing Instagram right now. I can't be doing shit. Like remove everything. Just focus on this. And it makes perfect sense, right? It makes perfect sense because, you know, I want to focus on my sales job, right? Like I want to get good at sales right now. But ultimately, how I view myself in the future, like my successful version, is being active on social media, having a large following on Instagram, having a large following on YouTube, right? And if right now I'm not able to balance that out with my work or the other things that I do or with my life, I won't be able to do that in the future, right? It's like if you can't do something right now, or if you can't start working on the process of getting good at that thing right now, there's no logical reason why you would be able to do it in the future just because time passed, right? So that being said, the most logical thing to do for me right now is to actually try to juggle it, right? And how I rationalize it is like, you know, I'm wasting too much time on Instagram. But am I really, right? Like, am I really wasting too much time on Instagram posting videos and posting content and whatever it is, right? Or so this is Instagram, right? And then this is the time that I spend on Instagram. Time. So ultimately, right, how much time do I spend posting content, right? How much time, you know, like between Dave sending me the pictures and me editing them and then uploading them and maybe like thinking of a caption, writing it down and maybe like posting some hashtags and tagging people, how many minutes does that take? What, like 15, maybe 20 minutes, right? So 20 minutes, you know, and that's like a lot. Like it doesn't take 20 minutes, but I'm just kind of like roughly 20 minutes. You know, that's on content. Maybe like messaging people, right? Like messaging my friends. Maybe that takes a long time. Like if I get caught up in it, right? That takes maybe like, you know, it can take an hour, 2 hours, right? Depending, you know, if I let myself go, right? But after that, man, what else takes time? Just like surfing through Instagram, right? Just surfing. And that, man, that can be a massive rabbit hole, right? Like you can lose 3+ hours here if you're not careful, right? So ultimately, is the problem here Instagram, or is the problem how I am using Instagram, right? So if I focus on content, right? If I focus on content, which is 20 minutes a day, give or take, maybe even more, right? If I do my stories and stuff, right? So on average, it's 30 minutes a day. If I focus, you know, only on content, 30 minutes, and if I upload every single day, right? So that's like 30 minutes a day, which will then give me momentum and allow me over time to build up my audience, right? Build audience, which is one thing that I want to do, right? So instead of avoiding more responsibility, instead of avoiding things that are hard, and instead of trying to make things easier for me, avoiding success, avoiding responsibility, right? The best thing to do is to try to balance things out, to try to deal with the things that are in your life, right? So that is the pattern, man. That is the pattern that I realized, right? And I was like, I'm gonna delete all my shit. I'm not gonna use it at all. Da da da. And you know, that's cool, man. That's amazing, right? Like I don't want to be spending hours on Instagram or, you know, texting people, because if you let that shit get to you, right? What happens is every 2 minutes you're checking Instagram. Every 2 minutes you're checking Instagram. Like, oh, did somebody text me? Oh, did somebody like my photo? Oh, who commented my photo? Who liked my photo? Like, who texted me? Who watched my stories, right? And it's not something that you want to be doing, right? But it's with everything, right? Like you can be a compulsive eater, you can eat bad food for your body, right? Or you can eat good food for your body. It's still food, but you decide how you want to use it and what types of food you want to let in your body, etc. It's the same thing with social media, right? You can use it for good and you can use it for productive purposes, and you can put boundaries around social media, or you can use it in a compulsive manner and you can let it get to you. So that's my 2 cents, man. The topic of the video was fear of success, and some limiting beliefs that you might have, or negative patterns in your life. That is my pattern, and hit me up or write down in the comments if you related with this and if you know maybe what your pattern is. And as always, man, it was your favorite Bulgarian, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.